Hi everyone, it's Carla Savetsky, and I'm so excited to be here with you today for my first ever video in my new video series, Holistic Women's Health from the Medical to the Magical. And it's where I'm going to be sharing with you all my secrets and tips that I have up my sleeve for all kinds of women's health issues. And today I'm going to start the series talking about something that plagues so many women, which is HPV and cervical dysplasia. And HPV, of course, stands for the human papilloma virus, and cervical dysplasia is abnormal pap smears, is another way to put that. So let's get started with that today. So if you or somebody you know have endured this issue where you've had to have multiple pap smears and violating procedures to, help diagnose it and that kind of thing, I want you to know that cervical dysplasia is absolutely healable, is curable with natural remedies. And I thought to illustrate this point, I would share with you a testimonial, an email testimonial that I just received from one of my clients that I was helping with this problem over this past few months. So let me read to you what she says. Okay, she says, I came to Carla after many years of receiving abnormal pap smear results with HPV and cervical dysplasia that had progressed from low grade to high grade. My OBGYN recommended a LEAP procedure, which would remove a small part of my cervix and could potentially cause complications in pregnancy down the road. I was frustrated with the lack of options within the Western medical paradigm. I not only wanted to avoid this procedure, but I wanted to heal my cervix once and for all. With much patience and care, Carla guided me through a regimen of healing. She prescribed supplements to boost my immune system, heal hormonal imbalances, and suppositories to reverse the abnormal cell growth in my cervix. She also gave me diet recommendations to support this shift. And so importantly, we did energy work to heal any traumas that were preventing my body from healing itself. Everything Carla did worked. Not only did I feel amazing from the diet shifts and supplements, but my cervical dysplasia completely cleared. After working with Carla for only 6 months, my most recent colposcopy and pap smear results showed that my high-grade cells reversed to completely normal. She's a miracle worker. Okay, and she said a lot of other nice things too. But I wanted to share this with you to show you that this is absolutely possible. Now let me say that when it comes to HPV and cervical dysplasia, there are so many misconceptions out there. And even doctors do not understand HPV well. And so often they freak out their patients by telling them that they have a sexually transmitted disease. And although HPV is sexually transmitted, in most cases it's not a disease at all and is easily taken care of and cleared by your own immune system, so that you'll never even know about it or have problems around it. You see, somewhere between 75% and 80% of reproductive age women in our society have been exposed to HPV. So that includes me, that includes probably you, but most of us will never even have an abnormal pap smear or know anything about it because our immune system took care of it before we had a pap smear showing that there was a problem. Even in cases with women who have pap smears with cervical dysplasia, if left alone and done nothing, 3/4 of those abnormal results will revert back to normal over time. So even with cervical dysplasia, your immune system will handle it where it reverts back to normal, okay? Now, in about 1/4 of cases, that's not the case. In about 1/4 of cases, those abnormal cells will persist. They can get worse over time, and they can even progress to cancer. And that's why your doctor will want to do a procedure. If your pap smear comes back with cervical dysplasia, your doctor will want to do a procedure called a colposcopy, where she looks under the microscope, she looks under magnification at your cells, and then we'll take a tissue sample or biopsies of any area that look abnormal. And if the colposcopy results come back with cervical dysplasia, she will probably want to do some type of surgical procedure to get rid of those cells, either by burning them off or by cutting them off, something like that. However, like you saw in the case of my client, and like I said before, if you so choose, you can heal this with natural remedies. So I want to tell you a bit about how to do that today. And I'm just going to give you a broad overview. So number one, the first thing that you want to do is take inventory of your overall health. This means if you've been having lingering digestive problems, fatigue, hormonal imbalance, autoimmune issues, any of these things, you really want to address and heal them. And that's because over time, they will impact your immunity. So please work with a trusted provider, somebody like an acupuncturist, naturopath, herbalist, homeopath, somebody like me, to get those issues under control. That's number one. Number two, you want to support the immune system directly through dietary changes, herbs, and supplements. We're talking about things like beta-glucan, which is so great to boost your immunity. And we're talking about herbs like golden seal and thuya and many others. And dietary changes that take things like sugar out of the diet and refined carbohydrates, these things that can really negatively impact our immunity and health. Number three, you want to work with the cervical cells directly with vaginal suppositories that have direct contact with those cells. And for years, I would recommend a company out in Oregon for my clients to contact to get these suppositories. However, in recent years, they've stopped making them, and so I've simply been having my clients make the suppositories by themselves at home with molds and with essential oils. And it's actually quite simple and very, very effective. And lastly, you want to take a look at your overall life and see if there's any areas of your life that are directly draining your energy and therefore your immune health. These are things like perhaps a dead-end job, perhaps a relationship that's not supportive, that's draining your energy, or even a downright toxic relationship that is constantly violating your boundaries. So this over time will impact your immune health as well. So that's everything I wanted to say today about HPV and cervical dysplasia. If you or a loved one is having these issues, please feel free to reach out. You can contact me via email at carla@carlasavetsky.com, and I'll be happy to correspond with you around that. And I'd also love to offer to all of you here today listening to this, I'm offering 3 healing awareness calls. They're complimentary calls where I'll help you gain awareness and insight around your health issue and how to start taking action around that. And until next time, it's been a pleasure to be here with you today. And next week, I will be talking about chronic urinary tract issues. So please tune in if you suffer with this at all. And until then, stay strong, keep healing, and lots of love.